I do have a question, Mr. Rainwater. We're gonna break off of the illustration topic though, because you and Diego both mentioned digital quite a bit. And I don't know if Joker and Diego are as familiar as with about this as you, Mr. Rainwater. You were trying to explain it to me on Twitter the other day, but I don't think I get it. But I keep seeing this thing about NFTs, Nancy freaking Thomas, and I'm trying to understand what exactly this is. My understanding at the moment, and you're gonna have to correct me because I know I'm probably wrong.
Sure. I'm curious to hear what
like
you
a
have to say
digital copyright of like the original PSD or something that someone did, and it makes it more valuable than just if someone copy and pasted it from Google or something. It's like the source file for a digital art. Am I understanding that correctly?
It's actually pretty
Yeah,
accurate.
it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, the main thing is that, so the main appeal, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it with NFTs, is the idea that, so with crypto technology, blockchain, and all that stuff, you have this ability to do something where you can encrypt code, basically. I don't know what else to call it.
Sure.
But basically, this encryption acts as a form of scarcity for something. So, like you're saying, you can copyright a piece of work. So, like, you can basically put, I don't know. So, for example, because I've actually made a couple just for the hell of it. I've exported a couple, or I've minted a couple of NFTs that are just like pictures that I've made. Okay. And you basically upload them to the site and they encrypt it. They back it with this thing. It turns into a token. And the idea of it being a token is you can now exchange it between your wallet and somebody else's wallet on the decentralized blockchain. And that is, honestly, I'd say that's where the actual value of it comes in. If the blockchain did not exist, it would have zero value, in my opinion. But because it exists right now and because you can exchange it between people on that protocol, that's where it has value. And I think this is something that right now, my opinion, the amount of money that people are spending on most of these NFTs do not match the actual asset that's there.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's kind of this is an old art thing anyway, so let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think in the long term, as soon as people understand how to like use this with stuff like VR, it's gonna have it's gonna have a more intensive concept of value. Because then like let's say somebody does a 3-dimensional scan of Michelangelo's David. All right. NFT it, so there's like only like, I don't know, 3 or 4 in existence or whatever on the blockchain. And you can now transfer it between wallets so that somebody can go into their wallet and explore it from a 3-dimensional perspective, you know, with their goggles on and whatever.
Yeah.
I can make an argument for that. I could see the idea, you know, of like why it has value or why it can be treated as an asset. But right now it's all hype right now because it's just completely new and nobody knows what they're doing, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like the whole idea behind it, like that also caught my attention with NFT is that is pretty much it's bringing up an old concept and modernize it, because it's pretty much like having a virtual gallery that you can sell your items. So instead of having like a frame thing, you actually have a digital thing that you can own. So the blockchain is kind of like saying, hey, you have the right to own this, and it's still protected with copyright protected.
Right.
And yeah, like that's like the main thing that caught my attention, and part of the reason I kind of started going digital this year particularly. You know, I already had some digital art before. By digital, I mean I made art on a computer, you know. But it wasn't like it was until like this artist who made it really big recently. He goes under the name Beeple.
Yeah, I've heard about him.
Yeah, that guy. Oh my god! Like I started following him like last year because I was watching on YouTube this channel Corridor Crew. Those guys, they talk about visual effects and all that stuff, and they brought him up.
Channel.
Oh yeah, Like they brought him up, and pretty much what he does is he does 3D illustrations. That's how I think I would call it that way. And he does weird, bizarro 3D illustrations every freaking day. So
I think I've seen this Instagram before. I don't remember that being the name, but it was like, was there like a giant like Hillary Clinton at one point that was like chomping things and like
yeah.
Okay, I have seen this. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. So yeah, pretty much he's like the poster boy for NFT crypto arts right now, because he's been like since he has like almost 13 years of daily arts accumulated, he already knows how to do his own stuff and be very successful with it.
That's awesome.
And that like that's something that finally, is very important right now, especially now everyone's like staying at home because of the pandemic and everything. That helps a lot with the artists to make some sort of money that might be consistent. And as you mentioned, Rainwater, like there's a bunch of artists out there, and the value is not the same how much they're paying for, as you mentioned.
Right.
There's some really like janky ass stuff.
Right, but as soon as Banksy starts doing like a digital thing or whatever, his name brand is going to sell. And it's just like, oh, I have an original Banksy file, and it's like that's the real thing. It's like people just trying to show off a collection or something like that. But if you ask me, and I'm going to let you weigh in, Joker, because I know you were just about to say something.
No,
I feel like this is a good thing for artists, because it's not only it's like, it's, as Rainwater has once coined the term, it's like gonna bring back the opportunity for rock star artists, where it's like this guy or this person made this art and now I have it, and like if I find a company that's using it and I have the NFT, do I have the copyright of it? Can I sue their ass? You know what I mean? Like, it's a way for the actual, I don't want to say monetization, but the ownership of a created image is now coming back to like a finite cause. Whereas before it was just, if you can hit copy and paste or screenshot, it's yours. Like, you don't need, like, because watermarks only last so long until you get someone with a really good Photoshop skill who can remove that watermark, and then, you know what I mean? Then they can just rip you off and make an Etsy shop out of it, which whenever I see that shit, I like, there's a bunch of artists that do like horror movie t-shirts, and people are constantly stealing their shit and putting it on like a fucking tumbler glass on Etsy and selling it and making their own money. And it's like, fuck you. Like, you didn't do anything other than hit Control C, Control V, and now you're making money off of somebody's hours and hours, maybe even days or weeks worth of work. Like, that's fucked up. So NFTs feel like, to me, like it's digital artists taking back ownership of their medium from the piracy of the internet.
Exactly.